Think of something bad that's happened in your life. The reason I asked you guys to do this is because this bad thing, you could either let it define you or you could grow from it. I mean, the bad thing that I'm thinking of is my parents moved to Utah. At first, I thought of it like, this sucks. Like, I'm 20 years old and I want to spend time with my family. I mean, I went 6 months without seeing my mom and dad. I went a while without seeing them. But the truth is, they have to take care of my brother with autism. They're trying to build him a program in Utah, and they're trying to build him a life there as well. And they had to get out of their life in Florida to rebuild their whole entire life in another state. So that's pretty crazy. I mean, the thing that it makes me sad about is I genuinely want to spend time with them. I mean, you only get so many chances to be with your family. And as you get older, you realize the only times you see them are the holidays, or you see them like, when you really think about it, I saw this video one time, you see your parents as you get older, it just goes farther down and down and down until you see them like maybe 10 times a year to 5 times a year to sometimes 3 times a year. Like, you're just catching up, getting dinner. As you get older, I feel like it's normal. Find a girlfriend, you find a wife, and that person ends up being your priority. That person ends up being your call when you're happy or sad. I mean, for me, the person I call when I'm happy or sad, it's my parents. Like, when something really good happens in my life, I want to call them. When something really bad happens in my life, they're the person I call as well. And as you get older, that person changes. That person becomes your wife. It could even be your best friend if you don't have a great relationship with your family, or if you're just closer with your friend. And even farther down the line, your kids end up being your priority. Like, I saw this question on TikTok one time. It was like, what's your priority? Is it your kids? Is it your wife? Or is it your parents? And I saw the comments. It was like a bunch of different answers, because it's all about the age you are and how your life is at the time, I guess. This bad thing, I wouldn't say it's bad, because it's a growing experience. I mean, I'm going so long without seeing my parents, and if they were here, it'd be very different, because I wouldn't be learning to be more independent. I wouldn't be having to do things that I could just like ask them for help or talk to them if I get in my feelings sometimes. I mean, of course, they're one call away, but that in-person connection is genuinely different. So where I'm going with this is mindset genuinely matters. I think that it's super important to flip a negative situation into a positive. I mean, going back to my family and my brother. My brother has autism. He got diagnosed when he was 3 years old, and our whole life he was kind of different. And then later down the line, my parents started to embrace his special needs, and they built a whole program out of it. They started My Favorite Therapist, which was a big organization and therapy center in South Florida, and I think it was all around Florida as well. And it got very big. They sold it, and that would never have happened if it wasn't for my brother. And the same thing with my other brother, he was a drug addict. He went to Utah for rehab, and he went to a program there, and my parents visited him. They were like, wait a sec, Utah's pretty cool. So they found that positive situation in that, they found the positivity in that negative situation by finding Utah and finding what they would never have even seen if he didn't go through that tough situation. So I think that you learn from everything. I think that through a breakup, you learn how to be alone. You learn how to deal with that feeling in your heart of your heart just literally breaking. I mean, I don't know if you guys have been through that as well. It's genuinely tough. I mean, you know, if you know it sucks. You want to be alone. You want to just sit in your room and hide away, but that doesn't really help anybody. I mean, I had a rule. When I went through a breakup, my mom, she told me, she's like, all right, you could sit in your room for like 3-4 hours, but like cry away, do whatever you want to do. And after that, put a smile on your face and get out. Get in the sun, distract yourself. You can't be hiding away. It's bad for you. I have a friend who just recently went through a breakup. I'm not gonna name names or anything, but I feel like the most important thing for him is to get out. Not go out to parties, not go out to clubs, go out in the sun, because vitamin D is so good for you. I mean, people don't understand how good going out into the sun is. When you go out into the sun, you know how you feel refreshed, you feel good. Even if you break a sweat, you feel, I guess, energized. And sometimes if you're out in the sun for so long, you feel drained just because your body is just so tired. And it's such a good feeling just going out to the beach or going for a walk, going for a hike, whatever you got to do, going for a bike ride, anything, walking your dog. Going out into the sun is so freaking important. I can't stress it enough. And I learned it because after I got done being in my own breakup, I started going for walks. I started walking a lot, and then I picked up running, and I just felt so good being able to sweat, being able to get out and get moving. It was so good for me. But you guys get it. In my opinion, there's two types of people in a breakup. There's the one who gets in another relationship called the rebounder, who jumps in and tries to distract themselves because they're not comfortable being alone. And then there's the other person who genuinely focuses on themselves and, I wouldn't say moves on, but finds themselves again, finds a way to love themselves and do the things that they used to enjoy. There's a difference between distracting yourself and getting out. So I would say distracting yourself is kind of hiding your feelings, putting a wall there and just never looking at it. And then one day it'll just build, and the wall will break. And then it'll all flood your mind with all these thoughts, and it'll overwhelm you. It'll be crazy. And then I guess sitting with it and being in that feeling and talking about it with your friends, even if you're out, I think that's healthier. I mean, this rule now, I've said it on a few podcasts. Don't give advice. Don't say you should do this, you should do that. Like if you have a friend who's going through something, you always say, I mean, I would do this, but I'm not going to say what you should do. I'm just saying what I would do. Or you say, you don't tell them what to do, you kind of direct them so they could find out what they genuinely want to do. The reason where I'm going with all this whole podcast, I really want it to be about mindset. I think that any negative situation you have in your life, there is a way to flip it to a positive situation. When I was in New York, the modeling didn't go the way I wanted to. I mean, last podcast, you can check it out right here, the episode 100, where I talked about my story. It was a tough story. I mean, I went through a lot, and I ended being in New York. And that New York modeling experience, it was lonely. I thought my expectations were I would start doing jobs, I would do test shoots, I would do a lot of stuff that I guess being developed means, but not. That stuff didn't really happen. I mean, the modeling industry, it's tough. I mean, it's very toxic, I'd say. At first I looked at it in a negative way. I did get a little sad because I didn't feel like I had a purpose, where I'll get to later. And 2 months of being in New York, I was walking and I called my mom. Because like I said, I call my mom when I'm sad, when I'm happy. I talked to my parents. I said, I'm coming back to Florida soon and I don't know what I want to do. So we kind of walked through it. We said, all right, what have you been doing while you were in New York? Like because I was doing the podcast, I was doing a little bit of the modeling, and I kind of thought about what I enjoyed. So during that conversation, I did cry. It was genuinely tough, but she was right. I had to find what I'm taking from this New York experience. So I started walking into different restaurants. I walked into one place called The Protein Shop. I talked to this guy who's all sea oil free, uses these great ingredients. His name was Arnold. He was super nice, very knowledgeable about his company. And I talked with him for a while. I scheduled a podcast, but he never really stuck with it, which sucks. And then I walked into Benji's Buns, which is a cinnamon roll shop. I connected with the owner really well. So I DM'd him, we scheduled a podcast, and we did a few episodes together. It was awesome. And from that, I was like, wow, I like food. I like being in this industry. So I started going to different places. I started talking with all the owners. I started trying different things. And I started to gain weight a little bit, but that's when I picked up running. I started to run a lot. I would eat a bunch, then I'd run like 10 miles a day. It would be ridiculous. But I learned from that New York experience. I learned how to be alone. I learned how to deal with having free time, I guess. I learned how to find the positive in a situation where you feel like you're kind of stuck and you're just wasting time. So when I got back to Florida, I met with my current mentor now, Tim Petrillo, who's the owner of the Restaurant People, TRP, which is a restaurant group in Fort Lauderdale, Miami. They own a lot of restaurants. And we had a conversation in his office, and it was basically my goals, what I kind of see myself and what I want to do. And with that conversation with him, I learned that I want to own restaurants. I want to learn the industry. I love food. I love the nightlife. I love watching people genuinely have fun. It's something about it. It might be weird, but I like watching people try new foods and be like make that face. I don't know if it makes any sense, but I mean, you could ask any of my friends if you're watching this. You guys know I love food more than anybody, and I could eat more than anybody. I mean, I guarantee it. But from that, I kept talking with Tim, and he's like, you can't just jump in the industry. You have to start from the ground up. You have to learn what every single role does. And from that, down the line, like you could start working with me and then learning what the managers do. You could start learning it basically one by one. So that's what I did. I was like, you know what? I'm going to show him that I really want it. I'm going to earn this. I'm going to put in the work. So I worked at Farmer's Table. I learned 5 jobs there. I learned how to expo. I learned how to barista, takeout, serve, host. I'm trying to learn freaking everything. So now I'm going to work at Oceanic in Pompano. It's by like the pier. It's on the water. I'm going to be serving there. And then from there, maybe I'll bartend for a little bit. And then I'm going to be a manager. And then hopefully from there, I could maybe own a restaurant at some point. But I love that industry. And I would never have learned that if I didn't go to New York. If I didn't go to New York and see how toxic that modeling experience was and how much I appreciated food, I guess, or appreciated just watching people enjoy themselves in restaurants and clubs. I just love it. I don't know why. It's weird. It makes me feel happy. Like if I'm the one responsible for their happiness, which could be, I don't know, down the line. Where I'm going with this is I came back to Florida and I found purpose. I found something that I can do every day, strive towards, even though I'm not in college, I'm not partying, I'm not doing these classes where I'm ChatGPTing the whole time. I feel like I found something that gives me purpose, gives me life, gives me something to look forward to every day. And I wanted to have even more purpose. So I picked up this running challenge where I'm running the date every single day. I'm doing, it's April 19th where I'm filming right now, and I just did 4.19 miles. I ran over like 400 miles this year. And this is something really hard, but easy things don't teach you anything. You only learn from the struggle. You only learn from the hard things. And I feel like if I keep doing hard stuff, a big thing that a lot of 20-year-olds all have in common is they're all very stubborn. A lot of 20-year-olds think they know everything. They don't take advice from anybody. They don't they don't hear people. They listen, but they don't hear people. And a thing that I learned is my dad told me one time, he's like, just shut up and listen. Like you learn something from every single person you meet. This whole topic and this whole podcast, it's all about mindset. I told you guys my story on where I was in New York and where I am now. I did go through a tough time of being sad, and I found love within myself again. I found happiness, all because of my mindset, all because I looked at everything in a positive way instead of a negative way. I mean, it's all about the lenses that you put on, and it's just all about what you take from every situation. And when you learn everything happens for a reason, that's when you just kind of go with the flow and look at things in a different way, honestly. So thank you so much for listening to this podcast. I hope you guys like, subscribe. We hit 300 subscribers recently, so that's awesome. Check out the recent podcast that we just posted with Dylan Eats and Moves Makers Run Club. Great episodes, and I hope you guys have a great day and you learned something from this. Peace.